Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that will help you become your best self. And today we're talking about take responsibility for your life, how to stop being a victim. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I'm at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on both TikTok and Instagram. And I think the same on Facebook, if that's the platform that you use. I have been trying to post more content on Facebook as well. It's kind of the same content. I would say TikTok is the one that has the most variable because it offers the opportunity to do different content. So anyway, wherever you want to say hi, I will be there. And you're welcome to also send me an email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topics, suggestions, whatever it is that you'd like to talk to me about, or just to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And if you check the show notes below, it'll tell you how to spell all of those things, or just for you to peek at that at the end of the show if that's what you want to do later. And the other two things that I want to highlight in the show notes below is signing up for the weekly newsletter that comes out every Wednesday evening that has a few more stories and tidbits and knowledge that I don't generally share anywhere else on the internet right now. And then also, if you are interested in buying my new planner journal hybrid that I created, it's called Emotions Every Day. There is a link down there for you to purchase as well. And if you purchase within the next few days, you will still get the discounted rate, which is $22 with free shipping. And then also comes with the stickers and everything that I made to go along with the journal. And if you don't know a lot about the journal, I encourage you to go check it out on Instagram, where I have a highlight it's actually called the Planner, because it's a planner journal hybrid. But if you click that, it has all the behind the scenes and it has more details about it. Also, if you go to my feed, you'll see several videos from me talking about the different pages on both TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Actually, I have posted a kind of quick walkthrough, which is I think it's 35 seconds of every single page. You can check it out. It's my life's work right now. It's amazing. And so it's now available for you to purchase and check out. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. So check all that out. Everything else that's in the show notes as well. Let's just go ahead and dive into today's episode. Again, is take responsibility for your life, how to stop being a victim. So it's all you. That's really what I have to say to you. It's all you, friend. It's all you to make those decisions and move forward with those changes. And making decisions really sucks sometimes. It's hard because you don't want to be the person that's responsible for those decisions, yet you are. And sometimes you don't know if you're making the correct decision, which can happen often. And you don't know if you should have waited till you got more information or more help or more direction or whatever it is to make those decisions and move forward with whatever changes you believe that you should make in your life. And sometimes it even feels better when we just have people telling us what to do, because then we don't feel like we're bearing as much weight of the responsibility, yet we are, because we're the ones that decided to go along with their suggestions. You have to be the one in this life that makes that decision and moves forward with creating change in your life and taking that and bearing the weight of that responsibility without anyone else making you do it or forcing you to do it with manipulation or threats or anything. It just has to be you. It's important for you to know that it has to be you. It has to be you to decide how your life is going to go. We have to take responsibility for our own lives. And we cannot wait on other people to do the work for us or force us to do anything or complain until someone else does it, or even blame someone else for not doing it for us. No, absolutely not. We cannot. We have to experience the struggles and the failures, the mistakes, and realize that it doesn't always need to be about us. I feel like a lot of times we don't want to be responsible for our lives. We don't want to make decisions and changes. We want everyone else to do the dirty work and take that responsibility. Yet, we want everything to still be about us and how we're the most important, and we're going through the hardest struggles, and we're doing this, that, and the other. And what other people are doing doesn't matter. And it only needs to align with what we would want in our lives, right? It's crazy. Victim mentality is it's a lot. It's a lot. Plus, have you ever thought about the fact that victim mentality has such a great effect on the relationships in our lives, with the complaining and the blaming and neediness that comes with this mindset gosh, it's overwhelming. I'm surprised that, you know, more people aren't walking away quicker, but a lot of people have sympathy and compassion, and we should be grateful for that. But the people in our lives aren't going to stick through all of that for too long. Some of them won't. Or with like a ton of dedication, they'll just be there, but not really there caring, or they can't, check in as much, or don't want to spend as much time with you or help you as much, because it can become very wearing on people to deal with all of that. It's a lot. And I'm not saying like you do have this issue, but if you do have this issue, it's a lot. You don't think it's a lot because you're the one doing it and you feel like you have the right to do that. And this is how you're living your life. So it feels very easy and natural for someone to take on all of that. It is quite the burden. It is quite the burden, right? And, victim mentality will also keep you where you are, pretending to be helpless and not achieving goals or moving forward in life. And I know that's not where anyone wants to be, right? No one wants to be caught up in victim mentality. You think that that's the way that you need to lead your life, and you also don't characterize it as this like negative thing that I kind of am right now, because it's just the way that you live your life and you feel like it's the best way because you don't really have to do that much, right? And anything that you do have to do is easy, like complaining or blaming. So but it'll just keep you where you are. You won't be able to do anything more with your life and hit those high goals and achievements that you desire, because you have to do a lot of the dirty work and make decisions to get to that point in your life, to live your best life. And it's important because we need to look inward and recognize the trauma and the pain that we have inside of ourselves from like whatever has happened to us, whatever we have endured, then figure out what our healing journey is going to look like, so we can release ourselves from these mindsets and behaviors that are so entangled with victim mentality. But it is important to understand that none of this can happen, none of that growth or change, if you haven't determined if victim mentality is a struggle of yours and how much. Like, how badly are you struggling with it, right? Is it so bad that you might benefit from someone else helping you with it to kind of like give you like a jump start of what you should do? Or is it kind of in the middle, or is it kind of towards like not a lot, but still something that needs attention? You just need to determine like where you are and how much it is affecting you, And once we do that, you can move forward to healing and growth and opportunity and excitement. And I mean, you could still be excited with the victim mentality, but you'll be more excited, more filled with joy and contentment in your life. So we definitely need to figure out if you are struggling and how badly you are struggling, so you can move on to that healing part and that growth. And so this episode right here is a continuation and kind of like a part 2 of the episode right before this that speaks on how to know if you are struggling with victim mentality. So I didn't want to say that from the jump, like, because when people read the topics, I'm hoping they understand like what we're talking about, because the first one's like, that you are being a victim, and now we're talking about like how to stop being a victim. Anyway, just in case you were not in the know, this is like a kind of a continuation and a part 2 from that one. So if you aren't sure if that is something you are doing or not, you can go listen to that episode first, and it will help you determine whether you are struggling with a victim mentality. And it gives you like kind of behaviors and mindsets that you may be exhibiting to show that, yes, you are struggling with a victim mentality. And it's called like No One Is Coming to Rescue You, but it's literally the episode right before this one. And it really can just help you identify if you or someone is struggling with that. And then today I'm going to tell you like what you can do about it. Today we're going to talk about how to stop having a victim mentality and start taking responsibility for our lives and being accountable in what we need to do. And so today I have 7 tips for you to share. And as always, before I share the tips, I want to acknowledge the fact that these tips and advice are based on my own knowledge and research and experiences and the experiences of others. And if you feel like what I'm saying today does not align with what you believe or what you think will help you, I encourage you to seek a counselor or a therapist and have them walk through it with you and really help you figure that out. And if you don't want to do that, I encourage you to go to our best friend, Google, and type in how to stop being a victim, how to get rid of victim mentality. And it'll give you so much research and tips and ideas on what you should do. So just know that. Okay, let's jump in to our 7 tips on how we can stop having a victim mentality, which is what we all want, I believe. I hope. Number 1 is, and this is not in a super particular order, kind of, maybe just like the first few are. Number 1 is notice the role you play. Notice the role that you play. Notice who you're trying to be when you're working in your victim mentality. Take notice in how you are the one always expecting others to do the work or make the decisions or find a way to do what makes you happy because you portray yourself as needing those things. And start to take notice how you complain about many things and maybe not highlight positive things as much, right? A lot of times we're thinking about all of our issues and problems and struggles and all the negative things that we are not highlighting the good things, the neutral things, the things that are getting us through day in and day out, right? And so we need to start taking notice of those and highlighting those things. And let's also not forget how you may think nothing is ever your fault, because there is no way it could be, right? Absolutely not. So take notice in the role that you are playing with all this expectation and this way that you're kind of manipulating other people in your life, and how you only want to focus on the things that make you look like you need help and you need support, rather than things that will show your strength and ability and ability to persevere and to continue to keep going, right? So just be aware of like how you're living your life, basically. Number 2 is to take ownership of your wants and needs, right? And this is where you do the work. I mean, you're starting to do the work and noticing the role that you're playing, but you're really doing work here because you need to take ownership. You need to determine what you want and need in life. Then you get to craft a plan to get it, right? So if you're like, oh, I would like a job at this certain place or in this certain field, then you need to figure out, okay, well, how do I get trained to do that? How do I find opportunities like this? Do I need to talk to someone that would help me like be in the know? Like whatever you need to do, you got to figure it out. Got to craft that plan, right? And it's important to not allow any like lack of support or understanding, like a lack of support or a lack of understanding from others, get in your way. And that's me saying that to me as well, because just in a generalization, I often let people that don't support me or don't understand what I'm doing get in my way or prevent me from doing what I want to do. And that's me allowing that. That would be you allowing that, right? You got to do what's good for you and not wait around for others to join you or even care, right? So you have to take ownership. You got to do it. You can't just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad at such and such person because they didn't, come and talk to me about what I should do to, fulfill my goals and dreams and my plans. No. Did you take action to call them up or go see them and figure out like why the appointment didn't stand? Or did you have enough go-getter in you to be like, okay, well, let's have a meeting. I will come see you. I'll be prepared with all my notes and ideas and everything and do this extra research, and then we can have a chat, right? You got to do the work. You got to take ownership. You got to decide what you want, what you need, not based on what other people say that they think about you. Right? Like what they think you need and what they think you want. No, you need to find that deep in your heart and your mind, make those decisions, and then move forward. Number 3, identify your limiting beliefs. So ask yourself honestly, of course, as always, honest. Identify your limiting beliefs. What are you telling yourself you cannot do? And what have others told you that you cannot do? And you have believed them. Have they told you that you could not do this kind of career, that you couldn't make any money doing this, that, and the other? and then you believe them and then you give up? Or have you been telling yourself you couldn't possibly do it because there's too many people out there doing it, right? You're like, oh, the market is flooded with this, that, and the other. I couldn't possibly do this. Or I didn't get the best grades or the best, recognition opportunities. I'm never going to get this opportunity because I'm not as equipped as other people and this, that, and the other. And really going down that pit of despair and hitting comparison on your way down. So what limiting beliefs, are you putting on yourself? What barriers exist in your life that are holding you back from being responsible and accountable? What barriers? What are you saying you can't do? What do you say you're incapable of ever doing? What are you afraid to do? What are you saying you can't do, but you're really afraid of it? You're really uncomfortable about it. You've done it in the past and you've failed miserably and you don't want to do it again. What are your limiting beliefs? Identify those limiting beliefs because they really will help you to step outside of that victim mentality, because then you're no longer able to tell yourself, oh, you can't do this, that, and the other because of this. No, you can do it. You can try. You can do your best. So identify your limiting beliefs. Number 4, deal with your anger. I found this one to be very true and very interesting when I was doing research, because it's like, when you are so caught up in victim mentality, you do think that you do feel angry. Not think you feel angry often because you're like, well, why aren't people doing things the way that I want them to? Or why isn't anyone feeling sad for me? Or why isn't this, that, and the other happening? And you just get so angry and frustrated, right? So it's important for you to spend time finding the source and triggers for your anger. Like, you absolutely need to find the source and the triggers for your anger. You got to find your anger's origin story to better understand it. And then you have to figure out what is leading you to decide anger is the best choice. Because there are so many emotions that you could choose from that could be a better choice. And if you don't believe me, look at an emotions wheel. And this is also the exact reason why I put an emotions wheel into the journal that I created, because it is such an amazing resource and tool in, I would say, every part of our emotional growth mindset journey that we're all on. Because it'll help you identify another emotion that might be a better way for you to respond and have that emotion be a better choice. So ask yourself, what is leading you to decide anger is the best choice? Is it not understanding your feelings? Is it the frustration? Is it feeling like a lack of respect? You don't know. Just think about that. And sometimes we think anger is like the only choice, right? Based upon how we grew up and the experiences that we've had in the past. But it's not the only choice, and we think it is sometimes because we don't know how to speak up for ourselves or are fearful of taking risks and trying new things, right? And so we resort to anger because that is what we know and that is what we were taught and that's what we've seen. And so it feels very familiar, right? But we need to determine where your anger is coming from so you can release some of it. Because there are definitely times where anger is definitely appropriate, but not all the time. That can't be your only emotion, right? Your go-to. We need to determine where your anger is coming from so you can release some of it and not feel so tied to all those heavy emotions that you might feel is holding you back. Holding you back from trying new things, taking risks, moving forward, no longer being a victim. Just something to consider. Number 5. Number 5 is an easy one. It's a classic. It is practice gratitude. I love gratitude. I do not think it's the answer to everything, okay? I do know there's people out there peddling that as the answer to everything. I think it is very, very important, like top 5 for sure of things that will help you become your best self and help you heal. But it's not the answer to everything because there can be so many things that we put in our way of being able to acknowledge gratitude and thankfulness that we need to clear this out of the way first and then lean more into it and then be able to even just remove one brick and be able to see all the way through into that part of our mind where gratitude is there and then be able to lean into it. So understand that it can be difficult sometimes and that's okay, but it's important that we try to practice gratitude. So when you are in a victim mentality, you are only focusing on yourself. in your perceived problems. And I wanted to make sure that I put perceived problems because maybe they aren't really problems, but you perceive them as problems, and that's fair to you, right? So instead of being so focused on those things, consider everything that is going well in your life and what or even who you are grateful to have in your life. Maybe you're grateful for your friends or your family or that spouse that you have that still continues to put up with your BS. And they love you so much and they want to support you through this like really hard, tumultuous time that you may be going through in your life, right? So, or maybe you're just grateful for a nice place to live with roommates that don't bother you. Maybe you're grateful for a job that isn't your dream job, but it's an okay job, and you're not being like verbally abused or taken advantage of or anything like that. Maybe you're grateful that you're able to be a part of a program that, you're able to get in with like a discount or like a scholarship or like a special invitation or whatever, and you're grateful for that because it's helping you succeed in life. Just think of those things. Find the silver lining and positive moments. That's kind of like what I like to talk about or call them positive moments to lean into to help prevent getting lost in all the issues you believe that you have. Just take that time to consider. It'll help. Gratitude always helps, even just for a little bit. Number 6, again, 6 out of 7. Stop blaming and consider your part. Now, I know that maybe you would assume, which assuming is dangerous, but you may assume and think like, oh, of course, stop blaming is part of this. Like, you don't even have to mention it, Sabrina. I had to mention it. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to individually mention like complaining and stuff like that, expectations as their own, like part of the tip list. But blaming is important because it's important to bring this up because we need to stop doing it. It is probably like the number one habit of people that suffer from a victim mentality. So when you want to blame someone, consider like your part in it. Ask yourself, how did you contribute to what happened? How did you contribute to what happened? You might truly believe that you did nothing. You might be like, I did nothing. I just stood there. I didn't say anything. But nothing could be the thing that you shouldn't have done. Maybe it is still your part, your place to have part of the blame because you didn't do anything and you had the opportunity to do something and you chose not to make the whole situation better, make the encounter better, whatever it is. So consider that. Just because you think that you truly did nothing, it's probably because you did nothing that now there is something to deal with. And, it's not always going to be someone else's fault. It just cannot. It cannot. No. It's supposed to be communication these days. It's going to be a two-way street. It's going to be hand-holding. Two of us are in it together to solve this problem. And even when it is someone else's problem, like someone else's fault, you probably still have a part to play in what happened. Even a little bit. Even if they were like the main contributor, you're still over here doing a little bit. I guarantee you, I absolutely guarantee you, you need to take responsibility for what's happening in your life to learn and grow from it. Because as we say all the time, mistakes and failures are the best learning lessons. You guys, I made that into a sticker. So I'm going to put those stickers on my website for individual sale soon. So if you want to stick that bad boy somewhere, you can't remember it for always. But yeah, you need to take responsibility for what's happening in your life so that you can learn and grow from it. And we need to stop blaming. And we need to consider like, how were we a part of this? And how can we take on that responsibility? And what should we do moving forward to help the situation? Okay, number 7 and the last one that I want to share with you on how to stop having a victim mentality is realize you are in control of your life. Realize that you are in control of your life. Before I go into the rest, I know there's people out there that believe that they are not in control for whatever reason, for whatever made up excuses and reasons. I'm serious. This is real. Because it's not true. You are in control. You're in control of you, though. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about like the random things that people do around you. Of course not. But you're in control of your life for like what you do, and like all of that. It's only you in control of your life. No one else. I promise you, no one else. If someone else claims to be in charge, it's because you are allowing that to happen. You are allowing it. Now, that's strong language, and you're probably like, Sabrina, absolutely not. I'm not allowing anyone to do anything. You are when you're complacent. You are when you don't say no. So if you don't want to do something, say no and mean it and uphold that boundary. But if you don't, then people take that as a yes, and they will walk right over you. Okay? You have control over what you do, what you say, what you think, how you behave, who you care for, who you like, who you don't like, how you feel, all the things. You absolutely do, without a shadow of a doubt. You have control all over those things. You have control whether you give someone a high five or not. I mean, if you don't want to, then don't. I mean, you can leave them hanging. It's kind of rude if you know them and you like them, but whatever. You can make that decision because it is your decision to make because it's you, your body, and your mind. We can't control what's happening around us, of course, but we can control how we respond and react to those things. So not every situation needs anger. It might need some sort of deeper, like, I don't know, problem solving or understanding or questions, something like that, right? So we can't control what's happening around us, but we can control how we respond and react to those things. And that's like one of the most important things to remember ever. You can live your life the way that you want because it's your life to live. So just do it. Just live your life the way that you want to live it because you are in control of you and who you are and what you're doing. And you have to tell yourself that and not allow other people to take that from you and or allow yourself to believe all these limiting beliefs and blame others for things not happening. And then you're just stuck. And we don't want to be stuck. But that's all I have to share with you guys today. It's just a reminder to listen to the other episode if you decided to just listen to this whole thing and then go back and listen to that one to determine how much you are struggling with the victim mentality. But thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Thank you for listening, downloading, and sharing the show. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you again every day. Check out the show notes below for all the things that I talked about before, like the journal and the newsletter and socials and all the things. I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, have a good one, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.